So we are live on YouTube now, as you can see on the Zoom. So today it's about sharing my story, and it's not going to be my story. And a lot of people have been asking me questions. She's Mame Abuachi. You are also Usubuache. Is she your sister? No, she's not my sister. I wish she was my sister. She's my sister in Christ. She's not my biological sister. But I'm really excited that today Mame Abuachi will be sharing her story. Mr. Theophilus is also in Tamale. So if you are joining us from Tamale, please, you can you can call him after the webinar, try to meet up with him. He's going to be there till tomorrow morning. He's flying back. If you're also in Accra, please join us at our Accra office tomorrow morning. Mr. Theophilus will be at the office exactly at 8 o'clock. He's touching down, I think, about 7:30. So by 8 o'clock, he'll be in Accra and he'll be at our office. So please make a date to join us. Please make a date to see Mr. Theophilus before he leaves Tamale tonight. Secondly, another thing that I also like to tell you that our Kumasi office is still open. If you want to join us at our Kumasi office, please make it a point to visit. Without much ado, before I introduce Mamiya, I'd like to know if our brother Nonso is here. Choice, are you here? Because I would like you to talk about your can everybody hear me? Great. Why is it that I cannot hear anything? All right. So
yes, please.
Good. I can hear something. So is Choice here? If Choice is not here, we have to move forward. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to introduce her. She's going to share her story. That is the flyer that we shared today. She's going to share her story. She's going to share her experience. So Mamiya, please unmute yourself. And my first question to you is, can you please tell us who you are, your name, where you went to school, how long you've been to the US? A little bit about yourself, please. From high school, JSS, share your story.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mame Abuache. I came to America when I was 19, so 2017 has been almost 5 years now. I was in Ghana most of my life, and I went to high school in Ghana Christian International High School. It's found on the Dodowa Road. And I came for undergrad at Utica College. It's in upstate New York. And my major was business economics and finance with a minor in entrepreneurship. So right after undergrad, I decided to continue my master's degree. And I just completed my master's degree in economics from University at Albany, which is SUNY Albany. And yes, that's my story.
Mommy, so when you say SUNY Albany, not a lot of people would understand. Like when you say SUNY, I know what SUNY is. So if you wouldn't mind, can you elaborate? What is SUNY?
Okay, so in many states in America, there are state colleges. That means the different states or federal to the state level, the school is being funded. So it's basically a public school. It's like University of Ghana, Legon, or KNUST, how they are. So all these state-funded schools are found in different locations all throughout New York. So in Albany, there's SUNY Albany, so it's the State University at Albany, which is in New York, and then there's different SUNY locations all over. So then there's SUNY Plattsburgh, and then SUNY Oneonta, and all the way through. So that's what the SUNY means. That means the State University in New York. Yeah.
Thank you very much for explaining. I had the same experience, and the State University, just as you know, it's made up of 64 different colleges and universities across the state of New York. So it's really huge. It's really huge. So, Mami, a lot of people would like to know from you your personal story. How was your first day at Utica College?
Okay.
You've flown, you've been to the US before. Where was that your first time? And how was the experience getting to Utica? Did you arrive in the summer or the winter, the fall or the spring?
Okay, so coming to Utica College, first of all, it wasn't my first time in the US, but most of the time when I came was during the summertime. But starting Utica, I started in the spring semester, which is January admission. So I came into the US right in the middle of
Okay.
very, very cold. So it was my first day, it was very difficult. I didn't have the proper clothing and everything right from the airport. So that was like a big hit in terms of like winter boots, winter jackets, having your gloves, having your scarf, all those things. I didn't really have that. So the first few weeks were quite difficult, assimilating to the weather and all that. But as time went on, the international office, I would say in my school was very helpful. They went with my dad and I, just because there were a few of us coming in during spring semester too. They took us for shopping just to know, help us know the area because we didn't know where to get some of the things from and know where to buy and how to buy it and all of that. So the international office from my school was very helpful. Again, I think it's because of spring semester, they have less people coming in. So they're able to focus more on the students that come in. But yeah, so starting was very difficult, but later on I was able to adjust the weather, having the right clothes and knowing how to dress and everything. It was easy to go through. Yeah.
Okay. That is very, very good. Thanks for sharing that. So another thing that people also want to know, and they've already been badging me, is when you got in, how was getting a job on campus? What is the process? How did you go about? Did you work on campus? If yes, what is the process?
So yes, I did work on campus. Um, the first thing that being able to work on campus you have to get is your social security number, which is the SSN number. So again, the international office of most universities are very helpful in that, where when you come in your first few weeks, you go through all the immigration topics, immigration advice. They tell you what to do, what not to do, where you can work, where you can't work, and everything. They really go through and explain it. We had tutorials for like 2 days straight where we come in and just talk and discuss everything our visas could allow. Again, because people were on different types of visas, so they were really explaining. So they took all of us to the government office where they apply for the social security number for you. So when you come in, you have to have all your documents ready, your I-20, your passport, any other required documents. I'm not too sure what other things I had to add. And with that, we went in and applied for it. So the social security card or social security number is what allows you to get a job, or that's what the school or wherever you work is able to have your number to be able to pay you when it's time to be paid. So we went in and applied, and it took a maximum of 2 weeks for the card to be approved and sent back. And then that card, when you get it, is mostly a piece of paper, but then you always have to keep it on you, or if not on you, in a safe place. And you have to keep your number on hand or in your mind, because that's a very important number that all the jobs you use it to apply for it in different aspects, not even just jobs. And again, I work on campus because that was the limitation for international students. It still is. So I had on-campus jobs. Most schools want student assistants, so it can be in any department. You can work for the athletics department, you can work for events, you can work with facilities, you can work with maintenance, you can work with different departments, but they make it available for international students and even national students as well. And the schools usually have portals where you can search for the jobs and apply, and then depending on how much they give you, international students can work more than 20 hours. There's usually a cap depending on how much the school gives you. Your maximum you can have during the semester is 20 hours a week. So depending on what job I had different hours. But all through my undergrad education, I did work on campus. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Mami. Another question that I just popped up on my phone is someone wants me to ask you, can you please ask Mami how many jobs did she hold on campus during her time in undergraduate? And also, how flexible was the job in terms of working and adding that to your studies?
Okay. At a time, I usually had just one job at a time because, again, as I mentioned, the time frame limitation, not being able to work more than 20 hours. So at every season when I was working, I had one job. Over the course of my college life, undergrad life, I had different jobs. I worked with facilities. I worked with phonathon, which is more like a call center kind of thing. And I work with events. That's mostly what I work with till I finished. So I did have different jobs, work with athletics, work anything I could find, especially during the summer. There's more options to work with than during the semester because a lot of people go home, students aren't on campus, so there's more help needed. And during the summer, you can work more than 20 hours. So I did have more opportunities over the summer than during the semester, I would say. And yeah, I forgot the other question.
No, so the person wants to know. Another question that came about was you said it's about a 40 hour. The person wanted to know about the summer. How many hours can you work over more than 20? So yes. So I think you've already answered it.
Yeah, the other question was being able to balance. Being able to balance, it depends on the job you have. A lot of jobs, they know maybe, and depending on the classes you had. Sometimes I didn't have any class in the morning. All my classes would start from after 12. Something like that. I could work in the mornings and then go to classes in the afternoon. Sometimes too, I had classes in the morning and I could only work in the afternoon. So depending on where you work, some of the jobs were only in the evenings. So then you have the whole day to have classes, study, all of that, and you just work in the evening. So the different jobs I had different times, and most of the time you're able to talk to the department you're working with, and they know. If you're working with a department that works 8 to 5, you would have to work during that 8 to 5 limit with them. But if it's a flexible job and you can work in the evening, you can work in the evening. So I wouldn't say really if it affected my education at all because the school also knows you're there first and foremost to study. Yes.
That is a very good point. My boss always told me this, Owusu, you are here to study and not to work. Although you are working, if you need any assistance, please let us know your assignment first, your homework first. So, but the other question, excuse me, the other question that I also want to ask you personally, how did you feel juggling working on campus and also going to school? How was the experience? Was it rough or was it okay because you knew how to balance your time? How was that experience?
Yeah. So again, it depends on the job you have. When I was working with facilities, it was quite demanding. I honestly quit that job because I was tired. It was more of walking around, actually manual labor, let me say. It was more, you had to apply yourself. So with that job, after a few weeks, I couldn't combine it because after working, it was difficult to come back and study and having a full day with classes and all of that. So that I didn't enjoy. But some of the jobs were more flexible. For example, if you just need to be an assistant in an office, you're sitting there maybe picking up their calls or just running little errands for them. I use that time as well to study. So if I'm just sitting there waiting for calls to come in or just writing that down stuff that's necessary, picking calls, writing messages, all that time I was studying when I wasn't necessarily doing anything because it was like a desk job. But then when the jobs were more manual applicable, that I would say is difficult to juggle. So I would say I enjoyed more of the desk jobs to be able to balance with studying than the manual jobs. Yeah.
Very good point. Someone sent me a text that were you able to study whilst you were working? Can you do your homework
Yeah.
whilst you're working?
I could do all of that. Yes.
Okay.
As long as you are doing what you have to do, they don't, you know.
You don't mind. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I used to take my homework to the desk when I'm sitting at the desk. I'll be typing my homework. By the time I'm done, even with work, I'm done with my assignment. So yes, I can share the same experience. It's easy way to make some money. So, but I like the way you're also talking about it. The most important question that everyone wants to hear about is, Mommy, did you get any form of scholarships in school?
So
We are talking about undergrad now and then move on to grad school.
okay. So for undergrad, I did not get any scholarship for undergrad. Again, I think what went against me for that was um, the time I applied. coming in for spring, most schools will tell you that they use most of their funding during the fall semester, which is August. So they give most of their allocated funds to the fall incoming student, just because a lot of people obviously start school in August, and then they have just very little allocated for spring. Other schools I applied to, I did have more scholarship in. So my application process before I came to school, I applied to 8 schools, and 4 of them, obviously, I was able to connect with my SAT, and it was for free. And then I had to pay for the 4 extra ones when I was applying. And I got accepted into 7 out of 8 of the schools, and all of them gave some form of funding. But sometimes when you look at it comparatively, still with the scholarship, some schools are way more expensive than other schools. So there was this one school where the tuition is 54,000 and the scholarship they gave was 20,000, and I still had to pay 34,000 out of it, which was still higher than some schools that even with the initial cost is way lower than the 32. So that's what led my decision to accept Utica College and start my program over there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good, Mami. So, Mami, another process that people want to know, how working into the US Embassy, what was the feeling? How was the feeling working in? Let's even before we go there, how did you prepare for the interview?
Okay. So preparing for the interview, I did find out from I knew a lot of people, first of all, who were in school in the US or were also applying or had used. I did also use the embassy, Education USA embassy. I told us the whole experience that some people have had where they help you with the whole process. And I used other people who had been through the process, and they gave me how to dress, how to articulate, how to make sure all your documents were set, everything that was necessary to make sure that you get the needed visa. I use all these different resources to make sure that everything correct before I entered in. That was the first one. Yeah.
To piggyback from not just where you left off, but earlier on, someone just sent me a text about um, how is it cold during the summer in August? No, it's not. Also, just so you know, when you arrive here, I'll be there to pick you up. If I'm not there to pick you up, one of top tier study abroad consult reps will be there at the airport to pick you up. Mostly, we always come with another big jacket. So just in case you are cold, we give it to you. I arrived in the summer, so I was good. But those of you who might arrive later on, you definitely in the spring semester, you definitely need a jacket. Even if you're arriving in Texas where it's warm, you still need a jacket because it's like the difference is huge. Like Yakasa, what you feel it the cold. So just so you know. Secondly, to as you already talked about, we take students through one-on-one orientations. We also tell students to use other external resources, as you mentioned. Currently, the U.S. Embassy's education offices are closed in Accra. Um, but I will talk more about it to my clients, how they can still get access to them. And also with the Kumasi office is open. So all our clients who are going for the visa interview, as Mami has said, she did that and it was really good. Getting the experience. Sometimes even how you answer some of the questions is really important for you. It is highly important that you go in there really prepared. You just don't go there and when they ask you a question, you start fumbling. Although Mami has even been to the US before, when she was going for student visa, she has to prepare. Okay, it is very imperative. So, Mami, someone also wants me to ask you this question. Can you please ask her if she payment of tuition can be in a plan? If you can have a payment plan for payment of tuition.
Yes. You can have the payment plan. That's something you have to discuss with the school, and I think every school has a different way of doing it. In my undergrad, I think there was 4 payment plans for the year, so it was broken up into four for the year. So I think at the beginning there's one in August, and then September, and then January, and then right before the end of the semester in April. So you can discuss with the school, and then there's a whole breakdown, and then they present everything to you on a year basis, and then you know how to move forward with that. Yes.
That is very important, mommy. I did it as well. So all of you who are going through our consults, just so you know, what top tier does is that when you get a visa, like all the people that have got the visa, 4 people got a visa this week. I think, yeah, 4 people. I just got a call this Saturday to know that another student. So in total, 5 people. So the 5 people, what I'm going to do for them, one of them, I can show you the text message she sent me. We are talking about payment plan. So on Monday, what I'll be doing is that Mr. Theophilus and I will jump on a Zoom call with all the universities. So the 5 people are going to 3 different universities. We will hop on a video call with the university and say, hey, uh, can you kindly help our clients A and B so that they can pay in installment? As Mami said, 4. Some universities will give you 5, but most of them will give you the whole 1 year. They'll break the tuition fee in 8 months. Mami, if I'm lying, please, or if I'm leaving something out, please, you can correct me, because there are things that I'm not the knower of all knowledge. Like within the study abroad, there is something that, Mami, you might know that it would take me a billion years to know. So yes, there is the plan as well. And someone has put a question here. I will answer it briefly, and then we can go. I asked Mami the follow up. Mami, in school, did you see people, international students who were older than you in undergrad, who were way older than you? Did you see anything like that?
Yes, I did. There were lots of people restarting courses. Some people had started school in Ghana and they had come back to restart programs. Some people were older and they were still coming back. Yeah, there was a whole mix of people, some my age, some older, start doing the process. So I wouldn't say for the undergrad it was just as a bunch of 18-year-olds in the program. No, there were people older.
Because someone wants to know rumors around an old people, especially unmarried, but above 34, unlikely to get granted visas. Any truth of or possibility of truth, Doc? So I don't know your experience. The international students you met, were they married? Were they not married? And you know,
Mhm. I think I knew one person who was married, and she was in the nursing program, and it was undergrad, and she was in the program, so she was accepted and everything. In terms of scholarship, I'm not too sure what her package was. Yes.
okay. So now walk us through the process at the embassy. I don't know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning, you've walked in.
Mhm.
You've not walked in, you've arrived at the cantonment office. Walk us through the experience, because a lot of people are here. I had a very good conversation with Ruby at someone not too long ago about the process. Everybody wants to know what is the experience walking in for your interview. What were some of the questions asked? How did you go about it and all that? Share your experience. Your
Okay.
father has dropped you off, your mom has dropped you off. Let's go.
So I may have some gaps in this because this was 5 years ago, but I do remember coming in, and it was in the morning, but I'm not sure which day it was. And then we came in. I You have to always remember the day before. I think I had like my checklist, making sure I had important documents that I needed to take in. So I make sure I had everything the night before. Everything was prepared. Then I went in. There was a line inside. You kind of sit in a line. So as then the next person moves, everybody kind of moves in the seat till it's your turn. So whilst you're sitting there, you do hear sometimes other people in front of you what's being said, and people are coming there for different reasons. Some is student visas, some it is for visitors visas and different things. So you do hear some of the conversations. When it was my turn and I went forward, some of the questions they asked, again, I had traveled before, so then they looked in my stuff and saw that I had traveled a couple of times, and I was now coming in for a student visa. They did ask me how many schools I applied to, and they wanted to know how many schools I had gotten accepted to. It was more of a conversation, I would say. He was asking how many schools I applied to, how many schools I got accepted into, which school I was going. And to backtrack a bit, before when you get your acceptances, the school sending your I-20. So I had all these different I-20s coming in from different schools. They were sending them through DHL or through other shipping companies. So I got all that. So I had that I-20 on hand and everything before I went in. So again, they did see the I-20 I had, which is the school I was picking to go to. And then I had to have my financial documents showing that I could, my parents who were funding my education were able to cover the cost and everything. And they did want to know what I was going to do next if I plan to come. I think it's one of the important things. They want to know your family ties and everything. And most of my family is in Ghana. All of my family is in Ghana. My parents are in Ghana. My siblings are in Ghana. So they were. It was a positive reaction knowing that I had so many ties back. So the possibility of me coming back was very high. I think that also helped them in making their decision. Plus the fact that I had traveled a bit before and I had come back every time, so they know that I would be coming back. So it was more of a conversation. They just asked me a few questions and I answered rightly with the little prep that I had before I went in. And I think it was a good it was a good interview. I got the visa, so yeah, that's what it was.
So, Mami, I'm not. If you have to, I know a lot of people here have reached out to me that always feel like going to the US embassy is like sitting on a bomb that is going to blast and destroy them. From your experience, what should students do in terms of preparing for the interview? There are a bunch of people here who are just scared about hearing of interviews. That really scares the hell out of a lot of people. And then they start to think of Canada, the UK, and all that. What should they do to prepare?
Yeah. I think you need to have a checklist and you need to know all the things. You can't be found wanting when you present yourself in front of the person interviewing you. I think knowing, Google is your friend. Having all the information you need, having good resource around you, having people who have gone through the process, and just being calm. I think if you come in with a calm, relaxed, prepared persona, they seem to like that as well. If you come in and maybe you are rushed, or maybe you do not know how to explain or explain yourself, or any simple question they ask you, if you seem a bit sketchy, that would make them doubt your true intentions about what you plan to do or what you're doing. So anything they ask you, like, well, what program do you want to do? What do you want to use it for? How do you want it to apply to your future? Any question, you should be prepared for it. I think you should just go through your arsenal, what exactly you want to do, why you're doing it, and just be forthcoming with the information, when necessary, and just be prepared to go in. I think that's the best advice to have. Yeah.
I mean, Frank Kondo, one of my good friends, is here. He wants to ask, is it important to have travel experience, or what is it? Because a lot of people think you need. Did you have friends or some of your colleagues who have never traveled but still got a visa? Because a lot of people have some of these misconceptions.
Yes, I did. That was just in my case. Again, my experience is different, but I did have people who had no travel experience, didn't have, apart from the US, hadn't been anywhere else apart from Ghana, and they were still able to get their visa to come in. So I don't think it's a necessity coming in, being able to come and study. I don't think you need any experience, because I do know a couple of people who came in and it was their first time and they were very successful. So yeah.
Okay. So right now, let's move on. You've gotten the visa. You have not gone to the US as a student before. What were some of the things you did to prepare for going to the US? What did you do in terms of preparing yourself for uh, undergrad? And then we move on to the grad soon.
Okay, so first of all, I did a lot of research on the school. I wanted to know what kind of people are there. How would I be able to assimilate to the school? Would I find people like myself? I look for African societies, Ghanaian societies. I look for all that, um, just to get the basic information. My school currently has my undergrad currently has this program where now they connect international students, current international students to incoming international students, and now they have something called like a buddy program. So you have
Oh,
someone, yes, so you have someone you're talking to all the time whilst you're preparing. The person can give you like their list or how they prepared or what the things they think is necessary for you to have coming in. And then when you come to the school, that person is kind of like, the person's a student as well. And the person's kind of like your guide. And like when you come, it's like, oh, this is where I go and buy my groceries, or this is where I do my laundry, or this is where I do A, B, C, and D. And then they help with that. Also, orientation is also a big one. So they give you all the information. I think that program they have is very helpful because you have a student just like yourself who is also an international student, maybe not necessarily from Ghana, but like from anywhere else, who connects to you to tell you, oh, I wish I knew this before I came in. So I think you should know ABC and D. So yeah, I did all that preparation, packing. I make sure I put stuff that I would need because you don't know if and when you are coming back. So you have to put all your necessities and things inside. Uh, and yeah, whether it's in terms of like medical reports and all those things you need to bring along to make your stay easy and comfortable, you need to make sure you have everything. Yes.
so that is a very good. The buddy program is a very good thing, and one of my colleagues, he's called Chinom, so or Choice. He's also at SUNY Binghamton. He before we transition from your undergraduate experience, your grad experience in a minute, he will also share how his app or it's also buddying people up. So let's say someone wants to go to Utica, the person has downloaded the app. Then if I get admission, I can also contact people within the app, and then their buddy program will start even before you get to the US.
Yeah.
So you can connect. So I'll ask you this question, and then Chinom so will hop on and then talk about that. And then when we come back, briefly about your graduate experience and getting a job after school, because a lot of people want to know, would I be given work permit to work after school? A lot of people have that misconception that it's only Canada that gives work permit. US does not give work permit. US, when you graduate, they'll kick you, go back to your country. But they don't understand what a CPT is, OPT. But my last question is, in your undergrad, did you do any internships or the CPT? Did you get CPT, and explain what CPT is, and if you were paid for the CPT or not, and then you can explain so that they would understand.
Okay, so there's CPT, so there's OPT and CPT. CPT is secular
Curricular practical training.
practical training, right? And that's during your school program, and then the OPT is after when you're done. So in my program, business economics and finance that I did in Utica, it was it was part of my requirements where you can either choose to pick an extra class or have an internship program and write a report at the end of the semester. And because I wanted the work experience that comes with it, I opted for the work experience. So then I had an internship, and I had an internship with a NGO called Rescue Mission, and it was in the area as well. This internship was not paid because it was an NGO, so it was not paid for. But then a regular American student could just go and do it. But just because it wasn't on campus, I had to apply my CPT for it to be done. And the whole CPT process is just your school advisor, which everybody has, your school advisor and the international office just signing off that this is necessary for you to do, and then being so that they'll be held accountable if anything, and also for the government to know that this is what you are going to do, and it's to be recorded for future purposes. That's what the CPT is for, just so you don't run off and be working off campus with no one knowing what you're doing. So I did apply for CPT, and I did do it in in my fall semester before I graduated, and that was what I did. And it was a non-paid CPT internship, so I did have an internship during undergrad. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Right now we're gonna take 5 minutes break. It's not a break, but we're gonna take a 5 minutes transition to talk to Chinon. So, Mr. Choice, he's gonna talk about this app. Right now, you got an admission. You want to go to, let's say, Harvard. You're going to Yale, Cornell. You're going to Utica College or SUNY Albany. How are you going to get Mamiya to help you, buddy you, and help you? Mr. Choice, the floor is yours. Please, can you talk to us about the app?
Thank you very much, Mr. Usu. As you have rightly spoken, the app is going to solve this connection problem, this network problem. As Mami has talked about her own experience, when you are going somewhere and you know nobody, it gives you jitters a little. It's very hard to transition. It's not a 0-1 process. And sometimes, like she talked about her former school, most schools have set up this mini arrangement whereby they could introduce you to a community of African people or Ghanaian people or people from your country or a bit around your region that would walk you through the transition process that will help you fit in properly. Because if you have nobody, believe me, it's going to be very hard. The transport system is very different. The food is very different. Some food have the same name in the US, but it's very different from what you know in Nigeria or in Ghana or anywhere you're coming from. So it will be good to meet a fellow Ghanaian that will tell you this is the best substitute. This is where you should pick your onions. This is the kind of chicken we like. This is the kind of tomatoes to use and all that. So those little things, in fact, they matter a lot. And it will help your mental stability because if you are mentally healthy, you eat well, you know your way around and all that, then you can perform academically well. You can hit the ground running. You can start on I think you put your best foot forward. So the way she described that system in her school is what we are doing on this app on a broader scale. So her school, according to what she said, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, if you get admission in her school, they find a way to connect you with a current international student that could, help you transition in. Not just giving you little advice, maybe could pick you up from the airport, could help you look for a house, could help you open a bank account, a credit card, to tell you the best choices of these things because there are multiple banks, right? There are also multiple credit cards. So these people will help you say, make the best choices as you are transitioning into your environment. And that's what the app is about, the app Connect Experts. If you download the app, you register. During the registration, we ask you for your country of origin. So let's say you choose Ghana as your country of origin. After registration, you log in. If you are still in Ghana, you will be able to see Ghanaians in Ghana. But you can change the location then after you've registered. You can choose United States. Then you see Ghanaians in the US. You can filter by school, by course, or by workplace. So let's say you filter by school. Let's say you've gotten admission in, let's say, Harvard University, for example. You type Harvard under school and you search. You see Ghanaians in the US that are going to Harvard, that is studying in Harvard. And then you can reach out to them and say, even if you've not even gotten admission, you can reach out to them and say, look, I'm trying to get admission in this school. How would you advise me to go about it? Can I see your own SOP? How did you prepare for your interview? All of these stuff. You can get direct interactions with your predecessors, and they can really help you guide your process or guide your coming in. Because believe me, you are going to need that help. And even after you've come in, even after you have one or two friends, you still need a community of people. You still need social interaction to keep your head level because education is not easy. So it's like a community on your fingertips, basically. And that's what the app will be doing. I don't want to go on and on and on about it. So I'll just stop here as usual. I'll put the link in the description box and I'll be in the WhatsApp group chat. If anybody has any question, I'll be happy to answer.
Please, Mr. Choice, people have started asking for it. Please put it in now. Also, please put it in the 2 WhatsApp platforms or the 3 WhatsApp platform. People want to start downloading. Someone just asked, please, what's the name? It's in the chat box. You can see. I'll say, oh, okay, he sent it directly to me. So I'll say, Tutu wants to know, Cherish Love. Mr. Choice will be putting the name of the link. Evans Owusu also wants the name of the link, so of the app. So please put it in so that they can swiftly download and start familiarizing themselves with people who are already there, so that they can all join. So
thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Oscar.
All right. Have a nice day, my brother. All right, Mommy. So we are back to you. I hope maybe you were able to grab some water as we are about to talk, because I've seen people started raising their hand. So grad school, you're done. Graduation, everything went well. Now you're done. Okay, let me. Someone wants to ask a question. Okay, let me ask this question and then we will move on to grad school. Someone wants to know, what were you using your undergraduate money for? The money when you were working, the money, what were you using it for?
So I was using that to pay my my basic needs and upkeep, like phone bill. That's like $40 a month. Toiletries. I wouldn't say groceries, maybe just like bottled water or something, because I was um, eating on campus, so I had all of that covered. And then the little money was any emergency that may come up or any bills I had to pay or extra things. That's what I was using the money for. Yes.
I know it's your personal thing, but someone just wanted to know. All right. So you're now in grad school. I know your experience in grad school is different because you went to grad school as soon as COVID hit. You were in grad school. Okay. COVID hit. You are now here. The experience is hard. Um, how was grad school for you? Because for 5 years you have your bachelor's, you have your master's. How was grad school for you?
Okay. So I started the process earlier. So after my third year, the summer of my third year, I started studying for the GMAT exams because it's business school related. GMAT is usually a better option than GREs. So the summer before my final year or my fourth year, I was preparing for the GMAT, and I wrote in August right before school started, had my results and everything. So my whole idea was to apply by the end of the year, and then I send in all my applications to different grad schools by the end of the year, and then get my acceptances in after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and then know by January, February, March where I was going, even before I was done with undergrad. So that was my process. I didn't wait till I was done. I started it a bit earlier on. So I did get my acceptances in, and I had to make a decision. Again, it was due to funding, which school gave the most scholarship, which areas were more affordable to live in, because you can get a lot of scholarship from a school, but maybe the area is expensive. If you look at New York City, rent prices is very high compared to like upstate New York. So areas were important. So I applied New York, Boston, Ohio, all these different areas. And then my decision to Albany was also because it wasn't too far from Utica College, just an hour and a half away. They gave me a lot of scholarship as well. And it was also a familiar environment to navigate since I've been upstate New York for the past 4 years. So that was it. And then coming into school, yes, it was during COVID times. So even moving down here was a bit complicated. And then when I started school, we went for classes for just the first 2 weeks till we transitioned fully into online. So it was mostly Zoom classes that I had to do, and then assignments. We're doing assignments online or having Zoom and then doing exams on Zoom. That was also one of the things we had to do. And so I would say the whole COVID pandemic made networking and other things more difficult in the graduate setting than in the undergraduate setting. But it was still a very good experience. Yeah. You're muted.
Thank you. You talked about scholarship opportunities going to your grad school. A lot of people want to know about, did it help? I know, did you get full funding or did you get some money, and how do you go about it? Like, they just want to know if it helped in terms of, did you get full scholarship, some form of scholarship, partial, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so for most graduate programs, a lot of them you could get funding in different areas. You could get merit scholarship, and then you could also get graduate assistantship. So when I was doing applications, some schools I did have graduate assistantship, but COVID also prevented a lot of schools from giving that because nobody was actually working in the offices. So I think maybe this year and the years coming would be more to give, because the student graduate assistantship, RAs, TAs, all of that are options. So at the beginning, I had both. I had the merit scholarship, which was, I think, 35% of the tuition. And then I was also going to get graduate assistantship. But then that didn't work out with Albany anymore, because most of the offices were closed, and then one person was handling what's at first 5 people were doing. So that also limited a lot of graduate assistantship. Usually when you get graduate assistantship, it gives you more money, and then you're able to use it to pay for stuff. I did get an on-campus job for Albany, but then it was more of a I'll call you if I need you basis. So it wasn't as stable as I would have, as my undergraduate was, where I know every week I had 20 hours or something. But this was, if we need you, you come in for 4 hours and go back. Or if we don't, then you are kind of left hanging. So I would say the COVID experience wouldn't be the best example to give, but others have had better experiences with the graduates. Yeah.
Okay. So my final question to you is life after school. I know you shared your success story with me, but I just want you to share with my colleagues here. A lot of people, as I stated earlier on, have this kind of misconception that, oh, when I graduate, I cannot get a job, or when I graduate, they'll tell me to go home. Tell me from your own experience, how did it go that you became so successful in terms of, just share your story with them and where you're going to be working. So.
Okay. So the first thing you need to do is apply for the OPT, and it takes a while, so you have to do it early. So if you know you're about to graduate in May, they use the portal to start the whole process, and the schools helping you. Again, your international office would be a very helpful resource at a time like this. We had a lot of Zoom meetings and everything just to make us updates, because it's very technical, and because it's to the government, any little mistake you get to send back, or it wouldn't be approved or something. So there's the whole application process for the OPT, where you have to combine all your documents and show them what you've done and what you're about to do. And the school has to sign off that, yes, she's about to finish, she's about to graduate, so she can be given the OPT. So the OPT takes 3 to 4 months for the actual card to apply, for the actual card to arrive, and then you have a start date where this is the time you start working. And depending on the kind of program you do, so if you're under STEM, you get 1 year with a 24-month extension. Or if you are under a general arts program that is not related to STEM, you just get 1 year of working, of opportunity to work. The OPT will just be for a year. And I think what helps is applying early, and also going to a lot of these schools do a lot of job fairs, do a lot of informational. A lot of the companies around, especially where you go to school, like to come and recruit directly from the schools. So if you're in an environment like New York, and you have all these big name companies, or even let's say if you're in like Oregon and you have like Nike and all these companies around you, they like to pick from the people around them. So in Albany, for instance, is a very big, is the capital of New York, and it has a lot of these governors offices and things like that. So they like to come into the school because they know Albany is a good school. They like to pick their graduate students from the area. So I think that's also one thing you need to look, unless you want to go to a further place. Wherever you go to school, the opportunities are sometimes right where you are because of the companies that are available around you. So that was my experience. I applied to a lot of companies around me, and I ended up finding something around me that was willing. Again, applying for jobs, you need to pick jobs that are also willing to sponsor OPT. A lot of companies too just want American citizens, but there are some companies where when you're applying, they see does not require or would accept OPT or CPT. So there's that distinction as well in the application process for you to see where to apply to or where not to, or where would accept or not. So that's how I was able to narrow down my search, and then was able to find a job, which I'll be starting very soon. Yeah.
Congratulations, Mommy. I'm really proud of you. 5 years, bagging 2 degrees, a bachelor's and a master's. Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. And I like your shirt too. I'll borrow it for a party. For next week when we go to church, I'll borrow it from you. Okay, right now the floor is open. I know some of you have sent questions. Some of you have already raised your hand. So Justina, I know you've already reached out to me. We are working on one or two things. I'll be reaching out to you. So Justina, please go ahead with your question. Justina, you've raised your hand. Please unmute yourself and ask. If not, Winter, please go ahead. Winner, Mr. Winner Dankwa. Go ahead, my brother. Hello,
yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Afternoon.
Okay. All right. Mami, thank you for your submissions. I think it's really, really helpful. My question is, I would like to know if you have any intention of pursuing a PhD. And then my second question has to do with there is this racial profiling going on in the United States, especially the blacks. I used to watch CSV news, and I saw that a white lady, young lady, called the cops on a Nigerian lady. I think she was reading a common room, and all of a sudden he fell asleep. So the white lady went there and then called police on her. So the police quickly came, and a lot of stars went on. So I want to know if you have been a victim to this, and if yes, how do you manage it, especially those of us who have the intention of coming to the state to study? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mame, what has been your experience?
Well,
the issue of race and racism, we cannot run away from it.
Yeah, this is a heavy question. So the first part of the question was, yes, I do plan on pursuing PhD in the near future. So I get my in a bit. So yes. The second part is, I think in America, the best thing you can do for yourself is to be at the right place at the right time, and also surround yourself with your people. It seems kind of like a bad thing to say, because obviously you need to assimilate into the culture, but then you also need to pick and choose where and how you find yourself. I have directly been a victim of racism in some instances, yes. As you can all see, my name is Mamea, so it's very obvious that I'm an international student. So some people are a bit some way about stuff like that because of my name. Maybe if I had an English name coming in, no one would really know who I am. But then sometimes there's that. But I think I have met a couple of very good Americans and white people and things like that. But there are people who have had bad experiences. Yeah. I would just say be at the right place at the right time, surround yourself with the best people, and then try and avoid any situation that you know is obviously not for you. And I think you would have a smooth experience. But yeah, that's what I would say.
What I'll add to this is when the universities have the Office of Diversity. So if you encounter any issues like this on campus, you report it to, and there are cameras always around. So if such issues happen, most universities will take this issue on. The reason why I'm saying most is most, some people will not take this on, but I'll say most people will take this on and try as much as possible to find a solution to it. Some universities are really stern when it comes to diversity. They do not joke on that. They have a chief diversity officer who is responsible for taking such issues on. Even if he has to go to court, they will fight for you, so that at the end of the day, you get what you want. So yes, there is that as well. All right, Mahamadou, you are next. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Mahamadou, please unmute yourself and ask your question. All right, if Mahamadou is not ready, Justina, are you ready now?
Hello.
Okay, Muhammad, go.
Yeah, good afternoon, Doc.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm a teacher in Nairobi Senior High School, Ghana. Then I would like to find out, like, when she was submitting her this, she made mention of the visa point where they asked her to show her bank statement or financial document to show how she was going to support herself. So as a teacher, I want to find out, because sometimes it is difficult for us to get a strong bank statement. So that is my worry. And I want to know whether it is a top tier who is responsible for us to get such a statement to support us during the visa interview. So that is what I want to find out from you. Thank you.
Our brother Muhammad asked a question. Did you hear what he said? Mommy, are you there?
Oh yeah, I thought he was asking you.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, maybe I thought he wanted to know your experience if they asked you to present a bank statement.
Oh
so
yeah,
they did. Okay, yeah, for me too, they did. But strangely enough, all our clients that went last week, they did not ask anybody to show their bank statement. What they rather did is they asked them, how are you going to fund your education? And then, as Mommy said, one of the most important questions after school, then what? So your ties to your country. So it is imperative for you to explain what your sponsor, what does he or she do for a living? That was one question that was asked. How you are related to the person. And Mr. Theophilus, myself, Yaira, Kofi, Victor, we have our own, we walk you through an interview to prepare you for that. We have series of mock interviews that we can prepare you for such a situation. And Muhammadu, I don't know how far you are away from Tamale. Mr. Theophilus is currently in Tamale talking to students from all over the northern part of Ghana who met with him yesterday. Some met with him this morning as well. This afternoon, before even we started the webinar, there was someone at his hotel talking to him about studying abroad. So also, just so you know, we have officers in case you want to talk more about the interview process. There are some people who did not go through us to get the I-20s, but if you want us to coach you or guide you for the interview as well, we also have a way to guide you, and also the materials that we'll be giving you. Mommy had the experience where she had people who have already gone through it, people already here studying, and they guided her. So it's imperative for you to be really prepared. Even in life, anything you just need to be prepared. You cannot just get up and say you are going for a visa interview and then you'll be asked questions. As Mommy was said, you'll be jittery, and then they wouldn't find you as a credible student. Mommy, you have anything to add to that?
No, please.
Okay. So one of our brothers, Chinamso, who just presented, also talked about positive racism. So positive racism where sometimes they will have scholarship for only Black people. They will have scholarship for only Africans. They will have scholarship for minorities. Minorities in terms of people who are not white, people who are from Hispanic background. So there are diversity, multicultural scholarship, there are diversity scholarship, there are Black scholarship, Black excellence scholarship. So, and they also exclude white people. They don't give them the scholarship, but they give it to Black people. I've been a beneficiary of, I won the Center for Diversity and Inclusion Scholarship as well. And so, yeah, there's also positive racism benefit that you can also enjoy from that as well. With that, they exclude white people from applying for those scholarships as well. So just so you know, that there are also that kind of opportunities. All right, next question. Shadrach, please unmute yourself and ask your question, and then we move on to Mami Osei. Shadrach, please, go.
Hey, Doc, good evening from Ghana.
Good evening, my brother Shad.
Yeah, me and you talked a lot, and we are still in the process of doing what you need to do the right thing. I wanted to ask Mami. Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. I wanted to ask Mami. Mami talked of writing her, I think GRE or GMAT when she was entering the graduate school, and as she's coming from English-speaking country, why does she wrote that GMAT or GRE, or is this some specific code that allow you to write those courses. I wanted to know. And so before she went for the interview, was that she has paid the fees, or she after the visa was she that she paid the fees? Thank you very much.
So to answer the second question, I think I had paid $250 or something to just hold the place with the school, just so they share some. They I think open an email for me and make it accessible for me to directly access the school's student portal or something. There was some there I needed to pay some money to be able to. I think it's money to show you are serious, you are coming, you have accepted the school, you are moving forward with that school as your decision. So I did have to pay some money for that. I hadn't paid the full tuition going into the interview, yeah, because I wanted to know I was actually getting the visa before I made the next step to pay what I needed to pay for. And then the first question, everybody writes the GMAT and the ERE, not just international students. Even American citizens have to write it. Everyone writes it. And depending on what kind of program you are doing, you do the GRE or the GMAT. So if it's like an arts-based program, it's usually a GRE or a PhD or something. It's usually the GRE. And then the business students more or less take the GMAT just to give them a boost in whatever program that they are doing. But it's a compulsory requirement for everyone, no matter where you're coming from. Yes.
Yeah. So Shadrach, just GMAT is not for English. So the English requirements are TOEFL, IELTS, PTE, Duolingo. Those courses, some universities will say, okay, if you are coming from Ghana, you don't have to write any English proficiency exam. For instance, I did not write any English proficiency exams. Also, in terms of the GRE and the GMAT, some of the universities will have waived it. Some of them do not require it. Just so you know, not all universities will say by hook or by crook you need to take the GMAT, the GRE, and all that test. So just so you know, okay. And also, if you have any questions too, you can also ask me. But also, if you are in Accra, our Accra office is open. If you are in Kumasi, our Kumasi office is open. If you want to book an appointment to talk to me, that is also possible to do it on Zoom. We can find a time this week so we can talk on Zoom. Also, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, Top Tier Study Abroad Consult, please do so. If you are in Tamale, please reach out to Mr. Theophilus. If you want to visit our office in Accra, Kumasi, please call Theophilus Yaira Kofi and schedule an appointment with them. We don't want you to come there and be sitting outside waiting for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whereas you could have just walked in with an appointment and then go meet Mr. Theophilus, so that we will prepare everything, other documents you need to give to you when you come in. Those of you who are going for visa appointment interviews, please, if you've not reached out to me for our one-on-one session to go through the mock interview, please reach out to me so that we can do so. Also, if you are nursing a dream to study abroad, please let us have a discussion. Let's talk about it. Mr. Theophilus is there, Yaira is there, Kofi is there, Victor is there, Afia is there. We are here to, be the solution to your study abroad problems. As you already know, or as you might have seen in our group, if you've not joined our WhatsApp platform, please join as well. Sometimes we put a lot of information in terms of study abroad. The webinars, we post everything there. So you can learn from someone like Mami, who used 5 years to get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and also got a job, not just the degree. She also got a job. Also, if you have not downloaded the app that Mr. Choice is promoting, please download. There are a lot of opportunities here in the US that we want you guys, not only US, we take students to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Poland, Luxembourg, not only the US, but we just help students in terms of taking them to their dream countries. So just so you know, so please, if you do not join our WhatsApp platform, please join. It's going to be in the chat box very soon. Also, you can also like us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and all the social media platform, LinkedIn. It's all Top Tier Study Abroad Consult. And then you will see my big head over there. So follow us, like us, and you see Mr. Theophilus shining head. as well. So it is very important for you to log on, like us, follow us, join us, and follow us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share our YouTube channel, our videos with your friends, your colleagues, so that they will know that studying abroad you shouldn't be too scared about the process, okay? So I see that Justina is here, and then we move on to Mr. Okai. And Justina, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Mami is here. You have 22 minutes more to log off, just so you know. Justina, are you there? Mr. Okai, please unmute yourself. Mami is here.
Yeah, hello, Dr. Boachi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, my boss.
Can you hear? Okay, so I'm afraid I've spoken to one of your team members, and then I gave her my profile that I'm a BSc IT graduate from the University of Ghana, but I also have some international IT certifications from Cisco and IBM. I also made a 2.5 GPA on a 4.0 scale. Now, with respect to that, I applied to some universities last year, but I wanted scholarship, so I was depending on the waivers. So I think 3 universities gave me admission, but then none of them gave me scholarship. So I spoke out to some people who are already in the space, in the education space, and then they advised me to do a GRE exam, and then to take to have some form of research experience. I already have teaching assistant experience where I taught undergrad students and some professional students at the Department of Computer Science in computer networking after I got my CCNA certification. So I have teaching assistant experience. Currently, I'm also doing a research with my HOD in cyber security. I want to pursue a master's on fully funded scholarship in cyber security. So what advice do you have for me?
Mami, I know your school is huge. Like, I think right now they are the #1 school just for cybersecurity, if I'm lying. They have a whole building. I was there with Dr. Kumi. I don't know if you know Dr. Kumi. Okay, he's an associate professor in the education department. He's my mentor. And he took me there. Huge cybersecurity building, #1 in the whole US, just for cybersecurity. So it's your field. Please talk about it. It's your university, actually.
I would say writing the GRE. I would think probably the reason they weren't willing to scholarship the GPA, because most of the time they prefer 3.0 and above to give a lot of funding. So I would say adding a GRE with a high score would boost your chances of getting more scholarship or more funding to it. I would say the GPA is the problem. So if you add the GRE, it would be more helpful to you to get something. Yeah.
That is true. To add to what Mami also said, if your GPA is not like 3.0 and above, I had the same experience. And I would say that should not deter you. And I'm really glad, okay, you really listened to take the next step. I did not even have a dime. I did not get $1 of scholarship. I got to the US with only $650. $650. Mr. Theophilus can tell you when I was leaving Ghana, all my clothes were like, I don't want to talk about it, but hey, it is truly possible. Okay. You've already reached out to a couple of us. I've also personally had a conversation with you. Let's have this conversation behind closed doors, and let me advise you. I can even also hook you up with Dr. Kumi, who is currently studying. He's actually a professor. He's one of the Ghanaian professors at one of these schools. That he might even be going to that department very soon. He's someone that really loves education, really loves to help people, even buy GRE books for people to learn if their GPA is low so they can boost it. Also with the GRE, my advice to you is to focus on the quantitative side. If you are in the humanities and liberal arts, I would say because I was the recruiter for the SUNY Binghamton State University of New York, Binghamton, recruiting engineers and computer science students. And my advice to all the students I met in India was, please focus on the quantitative score. If you can get a quantitative score of 160, if you also need advice in terms of, I know you're already taking classes, Mr. Theophilus will be your best source. If you're in Accra, please, or Kumasi, please call him, talk to him. He'll give you advice in terms of what are some of the tricks to get a really good score. One of our clients, Gloria, too, wrote it and got a good score, so they can all help you with that. So yes, if your GPA is not that becomes an issue. Winter, please, I've seen that you've also raised your hand. Mami is still here. What's your question, Winter?
Okay. Okay, so this time my question goes to you yourself. My question is, so, in fact, looking at the whole of the portfolio that you hold, I still don't get it. Why you are so passionate about this whole program? Like you are trying to get us on board, especially those of us who are nursing, like trying to come and study in the US. Not even Ghana alone, but the whole of Africa, Nigerians, Togolese, a lot. I still don't get it. Why you are so passionate? That's my question.
Winter, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, although I did not come from, I would say, a family that we did not have. But I believe I had this opportunity. I traveled when I was really young. Before coming to the US, I've already been to London 7 times. But all of them, one thing Theophilus will tell you, I'm someone who always want people to be successful. I believe coming here changes lives. I've seen people's life change from A to B. My mom was really not feeling well. I brought her here to the US. Right now, my mom is doing very fine. She's back in Ghana. She doesn't even want to come to America again. I filed for her to get her green card to come. Through this education studying here, I have my wife here. I have I brought my kids here. They are all here. My family is here. And it changes lives. Maybe you can send $100 to someone in Ghana. You don't know how that $100 might change. There are so many opportunities. America changes life. That's why they call it the land of milk and honey. Or not only America, Canada, UK, wherever you go. There are so many opportunities that we cannot get, especially back home. Maybe I'm talking a little bit different from Mami's experience, depending on the kind of family you come from. But for me, I believe that with hard work, with smart work, even Mami, that there is some at home, look at what she's been able to achieve within 5 years. She's been able to do it. So for me, the reason why I'm really passionate about this is changing lives, letting people see that there are so many opportunities out here that if you put yourself to it, if you really commit to it, I would have only sent my family here. I said, okay, my family, they are here now. I don't care about anyone else. But I believe that is not the goal. When, God gives you, water and lemon, you make lemonade out of it and you share it with people to drink. When God gives you a talent, it's not only for you, you share.
Yes.
I remember I brought someone here. I don't know if she's online. As soon as she got to the airport, I picked her up. I did not even, Mr. Theophilus will tell you, initially I wasn't charging people to get here, but people were very ungrateful. That's why I started charging. She got to the airport, she almost cried. She said, Dr. Boache, from my mother and my father's side, I'm the first person to travel outside Ghana. Right now, she's here. She's doing very good for herself. So there are people here who are also very grateful, appreciate what we've done. And Mr. Theophilus will tell you, I've been doing this for the past, give and take, study abroad, I'll say almost 12 years, but helping people to travel abroad since 2005.
Wow.
Because I got to London when I was a teenager. I was really a teenager. And don't think I'm too old. I got a gray hair from my PhD. The PhD because I was a young man in my 20s.
I like it.
In my 20s, just trying to find a fit for myself. So just so you know.
Wow.
All right, Winter. Do you have anything else to say before I move
Yeah.
on to Christina?
Yes, yeah. Like then, let me also take this opportunity to say that, even my first encounter with you was awesome. The way you talk, how you have time for people. Then I also like to say those who are on the platform that, especially we the Ghanaians, please let's take this opportunity because it's the man has come for us. God has given him to us, so we need to make maximum use of him so that and I my anytime I go to my I go to bed, I play for him that Lord should grant him long life. I've been telling my wife that this man he's too in fact I can't there's no way for me to describe you. So please let's take this opportunity and then use him to achieve our dreams, especially those who are nursing the dream of studying in the States or another other country, like he said. So thank you very much for your time. May God also bless you in abundance.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Amen. Amen. Mami, someone wants to ask you. So those joining from YouTube, I'm reading your questions now. Before we move on to Justina, Joseph, and Theo. Mami, someone wants to know, can a school refuse your I-20 although they've given you admission? I don't know. Someone is asking that question.
No, so the school sends the I-20. So when they give you the admission, they prepare the I-20, and then whatever Ghana address you put, they send it to you. They send it to Ghana. So they can't refuse to give you the I-20 because when they accept you and give you admission, they prepare it for you and then they send it because they know what you need before you come. They know that this is the paper you need to take to the embassy and all of that. So they will do that as soon as they give you the admission. Yeah.
Thank you. And someone also wants to know, how long does it take to get the I-20?
I would say since it's international shipping, I think 2 weeks maximum. I got a couple of mine early. Yeah, 2 weeks mostly for them to come. They came at different times depending on how fast the school responded to your application, and then how long it took them to also send it out, and then whatever process you use it. So you also have to make sure that whatever address you put is also a right one so that you can get it on time. It doesn't get lost wherever you send it to. Yeah.
So please, if you are joining from Facebook, you can get your questions in. We will read it to Mami. Mami is here to answer all her questions. And after that, I'm taking her shirt for our church party this summer. All right, Joseph, please unmute yourself and ask. Oh, no, before Joseph, Mami Osei has raised her hand for a long time. Mami, please go. Osei to cherish love. Osei to please, if you have a question, unmute yourself now.
Oh, okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
And sorry, I'm not a mommy, I'm a male.
Okay, you have a female picture there. I don't know if it's a male or female. Go ahead.
That's my picture anyway. Okay, I wanted to ask mommy something. As she was speaking, she said if you go to the embassy there, visa officer will ask about your family, like whether you have your family back home. Okay, in my case, I don't have all my family back home. Like majority of my family are in the States. So, and the one to sponsor my education to is in the States. Will I tell the visa official about it, or I should not tell him about it? That's what I want to know.
Did you want to answer that?
So, all right, girls, please, that is working. Thank you. Go out. Sorry, guys. So, it is very important for you to know that if the person is sponsoring you is here. So, for example, last week, 2 of our clients that got visas, all of them had 2 guys, 2 of them out of the 5, 2 of them had sponsors here in the US. But the onus also lies on you to show that if you have family ties, work ties, what is tied in here? Do you have a property? Do you have a job that you return to? Do you have a family? Even if it's your mom, talk about your mom. If you have kids, talk about your kids. If you are not married, talk about your mother, your father, your siblings. So family is not only about your father or your mother. It also has to do with your siblings. It also has to do with people that you grew up with. So I just want you to know that ties can be different. It can be work ties, it can be property as a tie, but mostly they look at your family and your work. The family work. That is what they look out for. And that is why you need to get proper coaching. If we sit you down, Mr. Theophilus and I, and our crew, we are talking about studying abroad and all these things, you would understand. The US want credible people. Canada wants credible people. How do you demonstrate that you have ties, strong ties here? Very important, okay? So just so you know. Joseph, and then we move on to Theo.
Good evening, Doc. My question was directed to you. Please, I'm a student, really. I was a teacher in a junior high, and I took study leave. I'm in level 200, studying Bachelor of Arts in English Language Education. And I want to know my chances. Do I still have any chance?
That is a very good point. So, Joseph, right now you have a strong ties to demonstrate to them that you've taken study leave. As Mohammed did by demonstrating that she has family, you can do that by demonstrating you have a job that you'll be returning to. Yes, you do stand a chance. Please call me. You have our numbers in the chat box. You have Mr. Theophilus' numbers in the chat box. Please reach out to us. We are here to help. Mr. Theophilus is here. I'm here. Yaira is there. Kofi is there. Victor is there. Annette is there. Mike is there. We are all here to help. That is why we want to hear from you and know your experiences and how we can be of help. That's why we brought Mami here, because none of the people that we brought online here has had the experience like Mami, bachelor's, master's, and studying, like done all of that and currently working, about to start working in the US. So you can learn from their experiences and take cues from that. So yes, you stand a chance. We just need to see how strong your diploma and your WAEC is. And also, just so you know, if you are here, you have a diploma. Hey, Eben Cramwell, thanks for joining. I need to talk to you, my brother. If you are here and then you are nursing a dream, you have an HND, you have a nursing degree, but a nursing diploma. When you come, you're not going to start from first year. They will transfer your credits. They will transfer your credit, just so you know, okay? So you not start from first year, you top up. Joseph, go ahead.
Please, that will be all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would like to contact you later on.
Please do. Please reach out to your brother. I'm here. All right. Theophilus, go, and then we move on to Eben, and then Frank will be our last person, and then we read. So if you are, till before you go, if you are in Vietnam, I know some of you are joining us from Vietnam and India. If you're a Ghanaian in India, Ghanaian in Vietnam, Nigerian in Vietnam, I know there was a guy that also joined. He's from Ecuador. Yes, Ecuador and in Vietnam. You can apply. Last week, someone picked her visa from China. Someone picked visa from Congo. Someone picked visa from Germany to study in the US. It doesn't matter where you are. It is about how you answer your question, as Mami said. How credible you are, as Mami said. How do you demonstrate to them that you are a credible student, as Mami said, as Mami shared her experience. So please, it is possible. Reach out to us. Reach out to Top Tier Study Abroad Consult. Tio, please go.
Thank you. So I just have actually a question, but let's see your request. Yeah, okay. I have an HND marketing with 3.4 GPA, and I'm looking for a university which can do the fully fund. It is advanced the marketing. So that would be
All right, Theo. So if you can hear me, yes, we can. You have an HND, reached out to us. We have a couple of people who have HNDs, as I said, HNDs diplomas that we've been able to get them admission with scholarships. Some of them had 60%, some had 70%, some had 40, some had 50, 40% scholarship, just so you know. So please, if you are nursing the dream to travel, please reach out to us and then we'll do our best to be of help.
All right, so thank you.
All right, Cromwell, Mr. Cromwell, please go ahead, my brother.
Hello, Doc. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cromwell.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So I do have a couple of questions here.
Even before you go ahead, I'd like to also say that I should have called you. Let me apologize first. I should have called you, but I've been swamped up. I'll definitely give you a call, hopefully today or tomorrow. We need to meet on Zoom to discuss one or two things.
All right,
go
sir.
ahead.
All right, sir. Okay, so Mami spoke about scholarships, and she also spoke about graduate assistantship programs. So I wanted to know, when we take a program like Fulbright, I was trying to do some reading about it. I realized that the deadline is just around the corner, so I wanted to be really quick about it. But there is one information I'm really lacking. Would one need to do a school application in addition to applying for the Fulbright, or that is an integral part of it? The second one is with the graduate teaching assistantship and the research assistantship in the schools. How does one go about it? Does one have to apply to, let me say, the departmental heads in the various schools to be able to get such opportunities or not? Then the final one is about the GRE and the GMAT waivers. I had wanted to know what are some of, can you give me a list of some schools that are offering GRE and GMAT waivers so I can put them on my radar, do a look up on them and see if they have programs that may fit my aspirations. Thank you.
Mami, you wanna take that? You want me to take it?
I would just take one of them, the one with the application for the graduate assistantship. For my school, and I don't know if that applies to everywhere, but for my school, it was a different application. It was with the same packet of application, but you had to fill out a different form for the graduate assistantship. So it was kind of separate where whilst you apply with, well, in my case, with my GMAT, my resume, my recommendation letters from my professors, and my transcripts and everything, that was one application. And then there's a separate form I had to download and fill out and upload back again. That was just for the graduate assistantship side. So most schools, I think, have it separately, whereas because the merit scholarship and stuff come direct, we're just looking at your grades and other things. But then the graduate assistantship is not something everybody goes for. So it's not automatic. You have to do it in a separate application. Yeah. And I would throw the next question to you.
Okay. So Eben, in terms of the funding aspect, you and I have to meet tomorrow. So I'll take you through the the teaching assistantship, the research assistantship process. It's a process. Every school is different. When I was applying for my PhD, when I got there, as Mami said, I was given a different form to fill for that. But currently, because it's very competitive, a lot of things have changed. So I will send you a video. No, I'll talk to you, then also send you a video on how to go about it. Secondly, one thing that I also want you to pay attention to is the Fulbright question you asked. So when I was applying for Fulbright, I wanted to be a Fulbright scholar to Legon. I needed a letter from Legon saying that they would accept me. So yes, you cannot just choose a school. And when you're uploading the documents on a Fulbright scholar, one of the tabs will be for you to upload a document that shows that the university is willing to bring you on board to be a Fulbright scholar. If things have changed, I don't know, because I did my Fulbright application 2017 or 2017. So please reach out to, let's talk. if you've already opened a portal, we can go through and then I will see how best I will we can help you with that. So yes, you need that. Also with the GRE, some of the schools have waived some of them off. I have the list again. As I told you, I have been thinking about you for the past 2 weeks. I've just been swamped with work. I have a lot of grading to do, but I still have to talk to you. So please, again, my apologies, and let's talk about step forward. Okay, Cromwell?
Okay, sir. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right. So please, after the webinar, text me and let's schedule a time to meet and then go through the Fulbright application and also go through whatever we have to talk about.
All right, Doc.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Frank Kondo, my brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Doc.
Good evening, Mr. Kondo.
Yeah. Thank you for organizing this webinar to raise some of the false perceptions some of us have about U.S. education. Actually, I've received some sample questions, interview questions from you, and then going through, I see this question about ties, Ray or Karen. What I want to ask is, for me, I have all my family here with me in Ghana. And then in case I appear for the interview and then I'm asked something like, do you have any relative in the States? As you know, my friend, Daniel Onuma, who has been of a great help trying to do everything possible for us to join through education. If a question like that is asked, you just spoke of ties, and then you said it depends. Can I cite him? Can I talk about him? Will it be reasonable for me to talk about him in the States, or it wouldn't be? That's what I want to.
I don't think it will be that good. Yeah, mommy. Yeah, mommy is shaking her head. So mommy, talk.
I don't think it's necessary to mention him just because he's not your direct family, and your family that you need is in Ghana, and he's just someone who's helping you with the process. So I don't think it's necessary to bring him up at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Frank, okay. I don't have anything to say. Mommy said it. That's it.
Yeah, Doc. I think she said everything. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So someone also asked a question from Facebook that do you need a green card to study abroad? No, you don't need a green card. Okay. You don't need a green card. So you don't need a green card to study here. And also, I don't know if you were talking about GRE or GRA. Please, you sent a question on YouTube. So GRA is Graduate Research Assistant. And we have Graduate Record Exams, which is the GRE. So I don't know which is which that you're talking about. But all being said, GRA is Graduate Research Assistant, and Mami has explained it, that different schools, different system of doing it. So we've gone 6 minutes past the time. I know a lot of you have questions. There are a lot of questions in the chat box. Please, I'll be scheduling a time for us to talk this week. That I'll open my Zoom. I'll open my Zoom up so that if anybody has a question, they can just jump in and then ask. But I also want to stress on this. Please visit our office in Accra. Visit our office in Kumasi. Don't let anybody just take your money and run with it. It is very, very important that you come, we sit down, we listen to your concern. I always tell Mr. Tio, he's a patient man. Kofi will call you, Yara will call you, they will explain the next steps to you, what you have to do. Victor, Dems, and Afia, Mike would also be hopping online to see how best they can be of help digitally, running all our digital arts and all that. We want to reach out to you wherever you are. It is really, really important for us to talk about studying abroad. There are a lot of opportunities here. Right now, Top Tier is also a registered company here in the US. So we are running our business here legally and in Ghana as well. And we are if you are joining from Zimbabwe, please contact our Zimbabwean rep. Our virtual office in Harare. We are also in Johannesburg, South Africa. Top Tier is in Johannesburg, South Africa now. So if you are joining us from South Africa, please reach out to our our South African rep. And also, as we've always been saying, by the close of this week, we're trying to finalize our office in Thailand, so that top tier would also be in Thailand. And then Mr. Theophilus or myself, or one of our guys from our crew, either Genevieve or any of our crew members or Cornelius, they will all be coming to you wherever you are at your doorstep to see what we can do to help you. Mr. Theophilus and the crew might be traveling to either St. Vincent or Barbados. If that's when they have they take the shot, and then they can only be quarantined for 2 days so that they can be here. So just so you know, it is very, very, very important that you guys should know that it's really possible to study abroad. Don't let the tuition cost scare you. Payment plan is there. You can work on campus. For me, I wasn't someone who spends a lot of money. I can see from Mami that Mami is not someone who throw her money out like that. As an economist, no, or me a prepare brutal. So whatever she would do to save money for the future, she would do it. And it's something that I'm really grateful for, that I was taught to save, and that really helped me when I was applying. Join us on YouTube, please. Register on YouTube. Please follow us on YouTube. Please like us, share to friends. Click on the notification bell so that whenever we put something, you can get it. Also, join us on Facebook, our WhatsApp platform. We normally share data when it's Father's Day. When there is an occasion, we share airtime credit so that you can also join us on Facebook. During the Zoom calls. So I'm really excited for today. Mami has really shared her story. And as I said, none of us have had the opportunity to school here in terms of our undergrad, but she did both. For me, it's my graduate experience. And I know the undergrads, they like to party too much. Maybe I should ask Mami before you go. Mami, well, how are you able to combine chilling and school? Because I know undergrads, you guys can throw party like 10 times a week.
The area I found myself in was a very quiet area, so I was concentrating in school most of the time.
So no party throughout your 4 years, no parties, African parties.
It was far and wide. It wasn't too crazy.
It wasn't too crazy. Okay. Yeah, some of the schools is too crazy. They have drinking competitions. People drink their heads off and all that. But I'm really excited that you guys came. Francon, Michael Doe, thanks to my brother Michael Amponsa, Benny Baden too. Thank you. Genevieve Induka, God bless you guys for coming in. Everyone that came today, I'm really excited that you came to learn about the study abroad process. But we cannot leave here without Mami advising us. What do we need to do when we go for the interview? What do we need to do when we get to the US? How do we get, can we get scholarship when we perform well? What advice would you leave for my brothers and sisters here who have been nursing a lot, nursing a dream to study in the US, Canada, Australia, wherever?
The main thing I would say is do your research and be prepared. Do not find yourself lacking when you get there of, oh, I left the documents, I didn't know how to do this, I didn't know this was important. I think that's the main thing. Do all your research, use every resource that's needed, necessary, because if you go there once and you get it, it's one and done, you are done. I think that's the best thing to do. So do your research and be prepared and be confident and put your best foot forward, and it would be positive for you. That would be my advice.
Thank you. The messages have started coming. Someone said, Mami, you do all. God bless you. But I also leave Mr. Theophilus. Mr. Theophilus, do you have any announcement for us? Or do you have anything to tell Mami? Anything to say? Theophilus Amankwa, is there anything you want to say? Okay, he's shaking his head. Okay, guys, please send me a message, shoot me a text. Let me know if there is anything that we can do. All our students, if any of our students is also going up north in terms of upstate New York too, I know Mami will be there to advise you. She would, teach you how to save money, the economics, the pen and paper way. You buy one, you record $1. So you be going through that. So God bless you all, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. And we will talk. Have a nice day. Sure. God bless you. I truly appreciate you, and we will talk right after I do the debrief with my colleagues.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, please put our contact in the chat box. People are requesting for contact. Mame's contact we cannot share, but my contact, yes. So please put my contacts there. Please put my contact there. Mame, people are saying God bless you. So
thank you.
Sam and other guys, please. My number will be pasted there. Yeah, it's been done. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Theophilus too. You can also call Mr. Theophilus Amankwa. He's in Tamale. So just so you know, please visit our Tamale. Accra office. Visit our Kumasi office. Please, 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 please. I'm about to do a debrief. After I'm done with the debrief, if you want to call, you can call, but give me about 30 to 40 minutes time to do my debrief. Thank you. And next week, we bring in another person on. She's my wife's cousin. She's going to blow your mind off in terms of what you want to study, how you can make money. She also did her undergrad and her master's here. She did her undergrad in international relations and master's in international relations. So she will also be talking about the experience, why she's now leaving international relations to the IT field. So watch out for Nari. Nari will be here next week. All right, guys, we are done. We are done for the day. You can log off, and then the top tier crew can meet and then discuss on the best ways to help you. God bless you all. Let's meet next week. Let's meet next week. Next week is also going to be another powerful session. If you are in Vietnam, if you're in Nigeria, if you're in India joining us, we are here to help. Mr. Chinom, so God bless you for the app that you're also doing to connect families, to connect people, to connect international students. God bless you all. Please visit our Accra office, visit our Kumasi office, call Mr. Theophilus, call Mr. Theophilus. Please, it's very important that you call, book an appointment, go meet with him. I'll join you all. Thank you, Collins. Thank you. God bless you all. Very powerful stories being shared. Very good advice being shared by Mommy, and we appreciate you all. And Benny too. What's up, Benny?
That's it.
Mr. Gabna, God bless you all. Yeah, Benny.
Yeah, I'm doing very well. God bless you for the program. I think it's very insightful. God richly bless you.
God bless you too. God bless you too, my brother.
Yes.
Let's talk, Benny. Whenever you get a chance, let me know which stage you are, and let me see how best I can be of help to you. Okay?
Yes, please. All right.
All right, yeah. Kofi, where is Victor? Victor.
Victor, I think so. We're free lines.
I'm sending a text. I cut you floss.
Oh.
Victor. Okay. Okay.
Oh, what's my Andy YouTube now?